All right, let's dive in. Today, we are going to tackle a struggle that I think we all feel. How do you actually focus in a world that is practically designed to distract you? We're going to look at the science behind it and, more importantly, give you a powerful and surprisingly simple tool to start winning that battle for your attention. You know this feeling, right? You've been at your desk for hours, you've got a million tabs open, your phone's buzzing, you have all the best intentions. But when you finally lean back, you can't really pinpoint what you've actually finished. If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are not alone. It's one of the biggest frustrations of trying to learn or work in the modern world. So, what is really going on here? Well, it all starts with the environment we're trying to operate in. You could call it a state of digital overwhelm. I mean, this image just says it all, doesn't it? This isn't just about willpower. We're up against what researchers call digital disarray, this constant pressure of an always-on culture, and even learning tools that sometimes work against our ability to focus deeply. These aren't just feelings. They are the real, documented challenges of our hyper-connected lives. Here's the bottom line. Your attention has become this incredibly valuable currency, and pretty much every app and every device is competing for it. It's a constant battle. But, and this is a big but, the good news is you can absolutely fight back. There are proven science-backed ways to help you win. And that brings us to our very first and maybe the most powerful tool in our arsenal. It's a beautifully simple trick that actually started with a humble little kitchen timer, one shaped like a tomato. It's called the Pomodoro technique. Now, Pomodoro is just Italian for tomato, named after that very kitchen timer Francesco Cirillo used when he was a student. The whole idea is just so simple. You break your work down into short, intense sprints of focus, with short breaks in between. It keeps you fresh and helps you dodge that burnout feeling. So here's how you do it. It's super straightforward. First, you pick one task, just one. Then you set a timer for 25 minutes, and for those 25 minutes, you give that single task your absolute undivided attention. No phone, no email, no distractions. When that timer rings, you've done one Pomodoro. Now you take a 5-minute break, and I mean a real break. Get up, stretch, step away. After you do 4 of these cycles, you've earned a longer break, maybe 15 to 30 minutes. It's this simple rhythm of work and rest. So why on earth does this simple trick work so well? Well, it taps into something called cognitive load theory. Think of your working memory, the part of your brain juggling information right now, like a small workbench. If you just keep piling more and more stuff on it, it gets messy, right? You can't find anything, you can't work effectively. The Pomodoro technique forces you to clear off that workbench every 25 minutes. It gives your brain a chance to breathe, to actually process and file away the information, making it way more efficient. And the data backs this up big time. In studies, students who use the Pomodoro technique rated their focus level at an 8.5 out of 10. The other group, the ones who just studied for one long block of time, they rated their focus at only 6.2. That is a huge difference in how concentrated people feel. And that incredible focus, it leads directly to better results. Look at this. The Pomodoro group scored an average of 82% on their exams. The control group, only 70%. It's pretty clear proof that working in these focused sprints really does lead to better outcomes. But it's not just about getting better grades. The research also found this really strong link, a 55% drop in feelings of fatigue and distraction when people use the Pomodoro technique. So you're not just working better, you're actually feeling better while you're doing it. Now, a timer, no matter how great, is really just one tool. To make this kind of focus a real, lasting habit, we've got to zoom out a little bit. We need to look at the bigger picture. We need a strategy, not just a tactic. See, long-term success isn't about finding one clever hack. It's about building a whole approach. And that's where this idea of digital wellness comes into play. It's about creating a healthy, intentional relationship with all the technology in our lives. So how do we do that? How do we get there? Well, researchers have actually developed a really powerful roadmap to help us navigate all of this. It's called the DWF-FOLD framework. So this is it, the DWF-OLD framework. I know it looks a little complex at first glance, but it's really just a guide with 8 key areas for building a healthier digital life. It covers everything from community and safety to our sense of control and achievement. It just helps us think about our digital habits in a much more structured way, so we can see where we might need to make a change. For our purposes today, let's just zero in on 2 of the most important dimensions. First, there's attention, which is simply the skill of putting your focus where you want it to go, on purpose. And second, there's balance, making conscious choices about your time and your tools so you can avoid that feeling of just being completely fried. Okay, so let's start connecting the dots. We've talked about a super simple tool, the tomato timer, and this big picture framework. How in the world do they fit together? And this is the aha moment. This is where it all clicks. The Pomodoro technique is the perfect, practical way to live out those two key principles. That 25-minute heads down sprint, that's you practicing the principle of attention. And those mandatory breaks where you have to step away, that's the principle of balance, in action, specifically designed to prevent burnout. See, the simple tool perfectly serves the sophisticated framework. But here's what makes this so great. The Pomodoro technique isn't some rigid, one-size-fits-all rule. It's a flexible system. You can and you absolutely should adapt it to your own workflow, your own energy levels. You are in control here. For instance, the classic is 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. But hey, maybe for deep creative work, you find a longer 90-minute block works better for you. The research even pointed out a specific suggestion for anatomy students. Try 35-minute sprints with 10-minute breaks to help absorb all that dense material. The point is to play around with it and find the rhythm that works for you. So, there you have it. You've got a simple tool and a powerful framework to help you study smarter. The only question left is, what's the first thing you're going to try it on? Pick one task, just one. Set a timer and see for yourself what it feels like to truly, deeply focus. You might just be amazed at what you get done.